Hello everyone, welcome to English Tutorials. I am Sneha and today I will continue with the first part of my video where my subject was verb. In the last video we have learned about verb and its classes and kinds. So today we will learn something more about verb and very importantly its applications. As per our basic knowledge, the application of verb depends mainly upon the subject which we are talking about, which is clearly stated in my first point. And apart from this, there are some more rules for its applications which we need to know. Like the basic rule being, a singular subject takes a singular verb, whereas a plural subject takes a plural verb. This is the basic concept when we deal with the subject-verb agreement. But there are certain exceptions, like we all know, I, you. With I, we always use am, and with you, which is also a singular term, but we use are with you, not is. So, like this, there are some examples given over here. The list of items is or are on the desk, where the subject is list, so my verb will be is. If I take a very easy example of the basic rule, then we can see that, suppose for example, she teaches in our school. Here the subject is she, which is singular in number. She teaches. Teaches is also a singular verb. Similarly, if we see another example, like they like to play together. Here the subject is they, which is in its plural form. So with this plural subject, I should have to use like, which is also the plural verb, which actually matches with this basic rule. Now let's go into the depth and start with rule number 1. Rule number 1 states that a subject will come before a phrase beginning with of. That means it is clearly stating that a subject will always present it before a phrase with of. This is a key rule. It is a very important word. This is a key rule for understanding subjects. The word of is the culprit in many, perhaps most subject-verb mistakes. Lot of people, lot of students, lot of learners, they are making the same mistake when they are working with the subject-verb agreement, and the problem arises with this culprit of. Suppose if we see one example, let's see the incorrect form at first. A bouquet of yellow roses lent color and fragrance to the room. Here the subject is a bouquet. This is the singular subject, bouquet. Of yellow roses lent color and fragrance to the room. Here the verb being lend. So the incorrect form means here the subject is singular, and with the singular subject I have used here plural verb. That is the wrong statement. Now what can be the correct one? A bouquet, again singular subject, of yellow roses lends. This is the correct form. Why? Singular subject, singular verb. Now, rule number 2. Two singular subjects connected by or either or neither nor require a singular verb. That means neither, either, none, anyone, each, every, which are used as pronoun or adjectives, should be followed by the third person singular verb, which should be followed by the singular verb. Examples: my aunt or my uncle is arriving by the train. Neither John nor Carmen is available. So here we are talking of either this John or this Carmen, either of them, or here as per the statement, neither of them. Similarly, with the first example also, my aunt or either my aunt or my uncle will be arriving by the train today. So we are talking either about aunt or about uncle. So we have used here is. Let's come to the last example. Either Kiana or Casey is helping today with the stage decorations. Either of them, either Kiana or Casey. That is why we are talking about one person, so we have used here is. Rule number 3. Rule number 3, before going into the details, let me tell you that when two or more subjects are connected by not only but also, neither nor either or, none but, then the verb is according to the nearest subject. This may be sounding controversial, but it will be clear if I state you with one example, like neither the plates nor the, example number 1, neither the plates nor the serving bowls goes on that shelf. Here the nearest subject here is bowl. So I will go with goes. Both singular subject, singular verb. Alright. This rule can lead to bumps in the road. For example, if I is one of two or more subjects, it could lead to this odd sentence. Sometimes some awkward things also happens while dealing with this rule, like see here, the point has been given awkward. Neither she, my friends, nor I am going to the festival. I have used here am because of the nearest subject I. So in certain cases, for better understanding, we use the better forms, that is neither she, I, nor my friends are. So these are the better options than this awkward. And this sentence we can also write in this way. This is just about the arrangement of sentences. Now, rule number 4. Verb in certain cases are used in singular form. Like when two singular nouns refer to the same person denoted by one article, or in certain phrases or idiomatic pair of words suggesting the same meaning, though not synonym. Like it is written, you see, as a general rule, use of plural verb with two or more subjects when they are connected by and. For example, a car and a bike are my means of transportation. Like very clearly, these two individuals, not car, either car or bike. It is not like that. Here the subject is totally in a plural form. Car, both car and bike, these are the means of transportation for me. But in this case also there are certain exceptions, like breaking and entering is against the law. Here breaking and entering, this is a singular subject because these two are used collectively. That is why we have used here is. Alright, there is one more example also. You can go through it. And now we will go to the next rule. Rule number 5. Very simple. When two or more subjects are joined by, as well as, like, unlike, besides, in addition to, with, together with, along with, and so on, many such words are there, then the verb is used according to the first subject. Like, sometimes the subject is separated from the verb by such words as along with, as well as, besides, not, etc. These words and phrases are not part of the subject. Ignore them and use singular verb when the subject is singular. It will be very much clear if we see the example. The politician, along with the newsman, is expected shortly. Here actually I am talking about the policeman, which is the first word we will deal with when we will get the phrases like along with, as well as, besides, unlike, and so on. Alright. Example number 2. Excitement as well as nervousness is the cause of her shaking. So here we are actually talking about excitement, which is the first subject, and depending on this we have used is. Rule number 6. Here the subject is being followed by the verb. It is very easy. See, in sentences beginning with here or there, the true subject follows the verb. The true subject follows the verb. Like, there are 4 hurdles to jump. There are 4 hurdles. That means the subject itself is coming later on after the verb. Similarly, there is a high hurdle to jump. Here are the keys. And here is a note which is very important, which we have to take it in your mind while dealing with these rules. We will go through it. Next is rule number 7. In rule number 7, we will see that when plural nouns explain specific amount or sum or distance or any quantity. Now rule number 7. When plural nouns explain specific amount or sum or distance or quantity, time or period, then as a whole the verb should definitely be singular. Like, for example, 3 miles is too far to walk. That means 3 miles is actually, it seems to be in its plural form. But here we are using this 3 miles as a unit. So we have used here singular verb. Next, 5 years is the maximum sentence for that offense. 5 years here we are using as a unit, collectively as a unit. So we have used here is. Example number 3. $10 is a high price to pay. Here this sentence can also have a contradiction, like Here you can say that we have used $10 as a unit and then is. It's all right. But in the next sentence, you see, with the same amount, I have written that $10 were scattered on the floor. Why? In one place I have used is, in another place I have used were. Why? The reason is we need to understand the meaning of the sentence. Here $10 are the dollar notes. That means 10 different notes, single notes, which are 10 in number, they were scattered. So this $10 is in plural form. Next, rule number 8. This rule is just a contrary or the opposite of rule number 1. Here the subject will come followed by of, and in rule number 1 what we have read, we have seen in rule number 1 that the subject will come prior to of, and here the subject will come followed by of. That is the only difference. Rule 1 given earlier in this section is reversed, and we are guided by the noun after of. If the noun after of is singular, use a singular verb. If it is plural, use the plural verb. For example, a lot of pie has disappeared. A lot of pie. Pie is a lot in a lot form. But here after of it is pie. So I have used has. Similarly, a lot of pies. It is in plural. So I have also used the verb in its plural form. Similarly, you have to go through these examples. And this is the last rule which we need to follow very minutely. Rule number 9. A wish, a regret, or any unlikely condition, or anything contrary to fact. These kind of statements are expressed in subjunctive mode. Subjunctive mode, that is the current situation, the present situation. Like the word where. Now rule number 9. A wish, a regret, or any unlikely condition, or anything which is contrary to fact. So this kind of statements are expressed in its subjunctive mode, that is the current situation or the present situation. Like, for example, if Joe were here, you'd be sorry. As per the previous rules or the basic rule, we know that as Joe is a singular term, we should use a singular verb over here. But instead, we have used were. Now, what is the reason? The sentence demonstrates the subjunctive mood. As I already told, subjunctive mood is the current or the present situation, which is used to express things that are hypothetical, wishful, imaginary, or factually contradictory. The subjunctive mood pairs singular subject with what we actually think of as plural verbs. Similarly, in the next example, I wish it were Friday. It again being the singular, were again being the plural verb. Same thing, same explanation. In the first example, a wishful statement not a fact, is being expressed. Therefore, where, which we actually think of as a plural verb, is used with the singular it. Technically, eat is the singular subject of the object clause in the subjunctive mode. It were Friday. So that's all about the rules which we need to follow while writing any sentences or do something creative with our writings. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.